Hello and welcome to Childcare Confidential. My name is Jessica Hampton and I am here with the amazing Katie Dank. And we have a special guest today. Latroya Barnes is joining us from the preschool Posse in Florida. Hi, Latroya.
Hi, how are you? Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, thanks so much for coming. We're excited you're here. We can't wait to hear all about Florida.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so before we dive deep into it, if you don't mind, just giving a little bit of background information about yourself so people can get to know you that way.
Of course. My name is Latroya Barnes. I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida. I've been in childcare for almost 17 years. Childcare is something that I'm truly passionate about, and it's all I know. If you ask me about any other industry, I could not help you. But if you ask me about children and families and continuity of care and education and excellence, like that's my jam.
I love that.
That's
awesome.
The excellence is top tier. That's what we're striving for.
That's what we're fighting for.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so with Florida, what are you kind of seeing right now in the state of Florida that childcare providers should kind of understand?
I think that what I'm seeing in the industry right now is that we have a lot of passionate providers in the field, right? Like I see a lot of hardworking directors and educators. They're trying to do their best with everything that's going on in our nation and in our city around us. But the biggest struggle that we have is staffing and enrollment dips. And I think that they should know that they're not alone in this. They're not the only center that's struggling and kind of going through it. We're all in it, and we're all in it together.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that. I love that we're all together too, especially when we get to do podcasts like this, where we get special guests from different states. It's so intriguing to see your guys' perspectives opposed to just Indiana. Okay. What is the biggest misconception people have about the regulations in Florida?
I think that the biggest misconception would definitely be like it's a one and done thing. Childcare is something that is constantly evolving, constantly changing, and we have to kind of adapt with the times and, not looking at compliance or regulatory issues as if it's something against us, but it's something to keep the children safe and to make sure that we're in compliance and that we're executing to standard.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. I am a new resident of Florida. And so I've been kind of checking out things in Florida and what's going on down here and kind of the differences because I came from Indiana. So if someone per se might be interested in opening a school in Florida, where should they start? What are kind of some of the first steps? What should we be looking at?
You need money and you need lots of money.
Right. Something not a lot of us have right now.
Like, honestly, I think that is the biggest misconception is that you're just going to be able to kind of pop up a preschool and it's going to be profitable, right? Like, no, you need working capital. You need to kind of understand Florida rules and regulations, ratios. You also need to have the financial backing to operate, because say that you open a facility and you're not at full capacity for the first 6 months. You still got to be able to pay people. You still got to be able to handle your operational expenses. So it does take money.
Absolutely. And just from my journey in Indiana right now, being in the childcare world for the last 16 years with schools, things change too. So as business owners, you may go from making money to not making money very quickly, the matter of 3 weeks, actually, we're counting. And so, people need to be aware of that. Like you do have to sacrifice as a business owner. It's not all glamorous. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to do this because it looks great. And it's like, no, honey, no. No. What would you say if there was a new owner starting in Florida? What would you say they kind of waste most of their time or money on during the licensing process?
That's a good one. I honestly think that we spend a lot of money on the aesthetics and the prettiness of childcare. And I think it takes away from the focus on putting the right people in position. I think that a lot of times we just want to make the building pretty and make it pop. And that's important. Like that's truly essential too.
Absolutely.
But making sure you have the right people in the right programs and in the right position is what's going to make you thrive.
Ooh, I love that. We actually just had a podcast about right people in the right places.
We sure did.
Because that is so important. So, so important. And
It
we
is.
tend to forget that as leaders sometimes.
Until it makes you think about it, and then you have no choice.
Absolutely.
And then you're forced to make changes that you probably didn't need to make if you did the right thing from the first part, from the beginning.
It is. There it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, realization. Oof. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the state of Florida, what are the training and credentials that are required? And then this is a twofer, because what would you say is the most confusing or can be confused out of the credentials that are required as well?
Okay. So for the state of Florida, you are required to have your 45 DCF childcare training hours. And you are also, that's just to come into childcare training. You can get a staff credential, which is your Florida credential, or a national CDA. And then there's a director credential requirement for leadership. I think that the biggest training requirement that we kind of get confused on is the trainings, the additional trainings that you are required to have if you are a school readiness subsidy provider. So not only are you required to do your 45 DCF hours, there's some school readiness pre-service trainings that have to get done within a certain timeline as well. You have to start a certain set of trainings within 30 days and 90 days, and you have to be done with them and test out within your first year. So a lot of times we get these teachers that come in and they start their training, but they don't get them completed, or they don't do the right ones, and it's causing us to get cited.
You get an actual citation for them not upholding getting their trainings done within that first year?
Yes, licensing will hit you. If you have a teacher in your building that has started within the year and has biggest hits that we're getting is that tracking those trainings, supporting those teachers, making sure they're getting them done, having SOPs in place that says, if you want to work here, then I need you to complete this and I need you to commit to it, and I'm going to help you along the way.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that makes sense. I mean, in the state of Indiana, we also have a pretty lengthy list of credentials and requirements that we have to do as well. But I feel like we space them out a little bit more. I feel like we might have a little bit more leeway on the timing requirements to get them done. But, you know, okay. What documentation do you see people missing until it becomes a problem?
Probably those training hours.
It's all the training.
You are absolutely correct. I think that is one of the things that we see a lot is just the paperwork piece of it. The biggest thing that we're kind of facing here in Florida is staff retention and high turnover rates. And a lot of it is tied to funding, salaries, low enrollment, not being able to kind of keep staff, and directors are in classrooms. So when directors are in classrooms covering ratio, who's running the front, right? Like who's taking care of the paperwork, who's doing the process and procedures, who's making sure that protocols and SOPs are up to standard if they're now in the classroom to cover ratio.
Absolutely.
That does make it challenging.
Yes.
Yeah. What would you say with the Florida inspectors that you've worked with specifically, when they walk into the schools, what would you say they immediately look for? Because, you know, everybody kind of has their things in different states. What do you think stands out that they keep kind of getting people on?
I think for me, it goes back to the ratios, right? Like they're looking for that director to greet them when they come in. They're looking for the safety of the children to make sure that everything is compliant. We don't have any bottles and fluids hanging around. We don't have any open pocketbooks out and in the open, that the children are generally well and safe, and that we're operating at the Florida ratio. So if you have an infant classroom, I expect to see one teacher for every 4 infants, and we need to be compliant with that.
Okay. Let's get some more ratios from you.
I was going to say.
Like, ooh, ratios. Let's hear this. So, okay, we got infants. That's 1 to 4. Let's keep going. What about our toddlers? Are they considered 1 and 2 year olds with you guys?
So our toddlers are 1-year-olds only, and that ratio is 1 to 6.
Okay. What about 2-year-olds?
Nope.
2-year-olds. This is the one that I'm just like, oh my goodness, why hasn't this changed? But it's 1 to 11.
For it.
It's 1 to what?
11.
1 to 11.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And that is
1
potty
to
trained
11 for 2-year-olds.
Insane.
So in Indiana, our 2-year-olds, are 1 to 5.
Are you serious?
If they're 2.5, you can go 1 to 7. Our 3-year-olds are 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Our 3-year-olds are 1 to 15. And our
1 to
4-year-olds are 1 to
15.
20.
24-year-olds to one human?
To one human.
We
Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
Oh,
Hence-
wow. We
hence
have to
Turnover.
Yeah, I don't blame them, to be honest with you. That's crazy.
get a waiver to have more than 15 school agers in a classroom to one teacher.
Wow. So our
And
school
then
age
we can only go up to 20.
school agers is 1 to 25. And then, we have the capacity versus the ratio. So if your room is licensed for that certain number, you can technically double your classroom size. So I have seen it to where we've had a 2-year-old classroom licensed for 22, and it was 22 with 2 teachers. I know.
I'm like kind of speechless.
I feel like I'm an awesome early childhood educator, and 1 to 11 of 2-year-olds every day would about
Welcome
drive me
to
out of my
Florida.
mind. Like,
I know,
I love hanging out with 2-year-olds and coming in and doing that. But 1 to 11, you are constantly like, you can't even get it all done. Like
Right.
diaper changes and potty training. There's no way.
I feel like that's
And
your
all the
entire
things.
routine. It's just constant diapers, just the whole time.
Yes.
It's literally routine care. So if you are watching this and you are in Florida and you have a 2-year-old teacher somewhere, thank them. Say thank you.
We are definitely-
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh.
That's wow. Okay. Well, I like hearing what other states are doing though with ratios, because one of our lovely senators had mentioned trying to increase our ratios to help the cost of childcare. And we're all going, you know nothing about early childhood, sir.
I do not recommend.
Interesting to hear how other states are trying to combat all the costs right now. Let's see. What would you say are some updates that providers should be watching for in the state of Florida right now?
I think that we're having a lot of system updates, right? Like we're experiencing our background portal just changed recently. We also had our training and credentialing portal changed recently. So while software updates, they're supposed to be make our life a little easier, right? Like our providers have actually experienced a lot of challenges and backlog with these updates. Although I feel like later on down the line, we're going to appreciate them. Right now, they're just kind of a pain in the butt.
Absolutely.
Kind of sounds like it. Man, and
Yeah.
We went through some portal changes and things like that, and it has been a mess. We all love technology, right?
A few tears along the way.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I know that you had spoken earlier and said that staffing is always a huge stressor for all of us in, early childhood. But in Florida, what about like the costs, the enforcement, the enrollment? Are any of those areas that you're also like seeing a huge struggle in? Maybe not you as a whole, but I mean in the state of Florida.
Yes, I think that a lot of our childcare providers are seeing that, especially with the enrollment dips. Even with some of our subsidy families, they are on the subsidy and they're supposed to get that support from the state, but it's still it's not enough. So we've had people withdrawing their children because even though they get subsidized care, they still can't afford the differential. So it's still a little bit of a struggle with enrollment there.
We feel that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we feel that really hard right now.
Yeah. And, everything else is going up, right? Like the rent is going up, the cost of food is going up, getting salary teachers is everything is up, up, up. And it's like the enrollment is what we kind of depend on to run our building. So we're having to get creative in other ways to generate income and revenue so that we can keep our doors open.
Yep. And I don't think parents understand that, like, it is not us just saying this is how much it costs and it's a made up number up in the air. It is us having to deal with all the qualifications that the state is putting on us. And every one of those costs money. So to make sure our schools have this, it costs money. To make sure our staff have this, it costs money. To make sure we get all this training done, it costs money. So maybe instead of cutting funding, we need to look back at some of these regulations and start going, seriously? Not necessarily the ratio for 2-year-olds in Florida. I mean, we should be taking care of that one, not reversing it. But there are other regulations. I know, like for us, it's like you can't have a McDonald's Coke in the classroom because it has a logo on it. I'm going, seriously, there's some stupid things that you could take out that don't cost a lot of money. But there are things that cost money that they could take out and really help providers get back on track instead of increasing ratios and taking away funding.
Yes, I agree with you there. One thing that we do have in Florida, I don't know if you guys have it there, but we have Teach Florida. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, we have Teach Indiana, so it's probably similar, I'm guessing. But tell us all about that.
So with our Teach program, it actually helps us with staff retention, and it also helps us with making sure that we are paying those teachers and that they're getting the support that they need as far as like early childhood education is concerned and those courses. It helps cut some of those costs because Teach comes in and they're like, hey, we'll partner with you guys and we'll pay about 80% of that tuition if you are a childcare provider, if 90% if you're a home childcare provider. So there are resources in there. We just have to kind of get creative. A lot of people don't know that the resources are out there. Like they will literally pay for you to get your directors. They'll pay for you to renew your CDA. They'll do your associates, your bachelor's, and your master's degree. There's incentives tied to that, including wage increases, and you'll get paid time off. So they partner with your employer where you can still go to school and you'll get a certain allotment of time throughout the week. Whereas like if you're a working mom, you can still focus on your studies and reach your educational goals. And then all those costs is not on the center.
That is fabulous. That is just like Teach Indiana. So I'm assuming Teach might be in some more states too. I was not aware of that. So
I wasn't either.
We love the program. We send a lot of our staff through it to help their education and make sure that they're trying to reach those goals. And it's so good when we can get them at the CDA level and keep them going.
Well, you can tell them momentum.
Education. Yeah. Like, don't just stop at your CDA, guys. Keep going. There's more to learn. The CDA just kind of is the basics for what we do. But there's a lot more involved.
I definitely feel like that's the foundation. Yeah, for sure.
I do too.
A good stepping stone.
Yeah.
So what support do you wish that providers had that would make compliance more realistic to you?
I wish that a lot more providers had access to the preschool posse. I'm going to be honest. Not to toot my own horn, but back in the day,
toot that horn, honey.
Yeah, toot it.
Back in the day when I was growing up and, feeling my way through this industry, I wish I had a team of support, like educators that are on the ground with me. They understand what is happening in the field. They don't mind walking me through what it is to put an employee file together. They don't mind coming in and helping with staff retention, sending me over some candidates if I need help with my interview processes. We're not waiting until licensing is knocking at our door because we did something wrong or subsidy is threatening to take our stuff away because we keep messing up. So I would definitely say that the preschool posse is something that I wish that every educator had access to, every owner, every director. Call us. Like, we're here for you. If you want to vent, if you need help with something specific, generating SOPs, like it's not easy, the work that you do every day, and we all need a village. So the preschool posse is ours.
I love that.
I got goose pimples. That was so sweet.
I love it. Where can our listeners find out about the preschool posse?
We are on all social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We also have a website called thepreschoolposse.com. And if you're interested in doing a 15-minute virtual call with me, you can check me out, submit a request, and then I'll meet with you one-on-one, and we can kind of go through what you're needing so that you can be successful.
I love that.
That's awesome.
Another question about the preschool posse. Is it nationwide or are you specifically in Florida?
We are specifically in Florida at the moment. We are working with providers to kind of get a better understanding of their rules and their regulations in their states. As far as like regulatory compliance is concerned, we're available to help and assist remotely as much as possible. But right now we're kind of focused on our Florida market.
I love that. That gives somebody somebody to talk to, somebody you can reach out to. I know community is really big for Katie and I. When I first started, there was not, there wasn't the Chris Murrays and all the big help that we have now in the big conferences. You were kind of out there on your own.
Yeah.
And it felt very lonely. Even the schools down the street didn't really want to communicate and kind of come together. It was too competitive. And I think we've started to break down those walls because we all have a common goal. And maybe if we can just be a little less competitive, there's lots of kiddos to go around that we can educate and actually work together. We could really be great advocates for our state and our country about early childhood, but it takes connecting at these state levels first and these community levels first. So I love that you are doing that in Florida. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies. I definitely am a big advocate for early childhood education. I feel like you shouldn't suffer in silence. There's no need. There's help out there. There's resources out there, and there's people that's willing to help you so that we can provide quality care for our kiddos and our families. They deserve it, and you deserve to feel successful in what you do because you do hard work.
Absolutely. I think that is part of why we started doing what we're doing. The podcast started as just a outlet and trying to branch out to connect people. And we just hit 5,000 followers on our Facebook. So we're excited about that. We're watching you too, because you're almost there too.
We're growing. We're right on the cusp of 5,000. We're almost there. I think I can.
Oh, it's coming. I
100%.
love that. Let's wrap with this. What is one thing from today or from your journey, I guess, in Florida that you would want providers to know and remember?
I think that I would want providers to know that if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. And if we are going to pivot into 2026, it's important that we have purpose, we have a plan, and that we get prepared.
I love that.
I feel like I should have dropped a mic or something.
I know.
Awesome.
Words of wisdom today, y'all. Words of wisdom today on the podcast. Wow, it is so great hearing what other states are doing. And we're going to stay connected with Latroya because she has got something going on there with the preschool posse and building up leaders in Florida. I love that. I love your heart for it. It's just amazing. Those are the kind of people we strive to be like. So we look up to you, and we definitely are your followers now. So
Yes,
you got us.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show. And thank you for, advocating for all other states and childcare in general. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. All right, y'all. We hope that you will like, subscribe, and listen, of course. And make sure to check out the preschool posse in Florida. They've got some great things going on. We will talk to you later. Have a great week.
Bye.